everyone, I hope everyone is having a good day. I'm Tarasha, welcome to my channel. So this is movie news and TV news. There's been so much coming out every single day the last like 2 weeks, and I'm trying to play like catch up to it because every time I blink an eye there's something. So which is amazing. But I want to talk about a couple of things that I've seen. So one of my favorite things is Transformers. And Transformers, I grew up with it. I've watched the old cartoons and stuff. I love Optimus Prime, and I just have so much fun with the cartoons and with the live action movies. Now I want to say this. They did a thing like what's the future, like what's going on with it. So their goal is to show more of the robots in the live action movies. Also, their next live action movie will be the G.I. Joe crossover. Now, I've talked about this before, and I've seen some people's Discord about it, and some people that came on my comments on other social media said, well, this seems pretty good, but how can this like work out and stuff like that? And I say this is something new, keep an open mind, and plus it did get teased in Transformers Rise of the Beast. Now, this is spoiler, we did see a card with G.I. Joe on it that gave us the hint that they were going through with this crossover. Now, I can't wait to see this because I want to see how the Transformers fit with G.I. Joe. Do the G.I. Joe find the Transformers, or the Transformers find the G.I. Joe, or have they been working together and we just don't know nothing about? And I will believe it will be probably set in the mid 90s or early or late 90s, because Transformers Rise of the Beast took place in 1994, because all these movies that we've been seeing, like the spin-offs and stuff, have been set like in the 90s and stuff, which is I love to see, because I love when movies take that challenge and do movies in the 90s and the 80s and sometimes the 60s and the 70s. It's a good way to show what was going on in those times, the music, the clothes, and everything. Another thing is they're planning a sequel for Transformers 1, which is their new animated movie, which is out right now. I have not seen it. I will see it and I will do a review on it, because, like I said, I'm also really, I love animated things and stuff. I'm also working on a movie recommend. Actually, it's going to be slashed out movies and be TV recommend, because there's so many good TV shows that I've been watching the last couple of weeks. Some of them have been old TV shows, some of them have been new. I'm still trying to catch up on some new shows and stuff like that, but I thought that was a good thing for them to say, like, hey, you know, the first one's doing pretty good right now, we're planning a sequel. The next thing that we're going to talk about is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, I talked about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I thought the show was really good. I did have my doubts before the show came on. Those doubts went quickly out the window when I started watching the first 2 episodes really fast. And then my mind was like, okay, how can they do the second season and the third season? Because quickly after, I would think about a couple of weeks later, they got renewed for a second season and a third season. Now, my mind, because I do watch the animated show, which we all love and care about, the only thing that popped up in my mind is Toph is coming. And Toph, for me, she's an amazing character, and they did her wonders in the TV series, in the animated TV series. And I was like, who can they get? They casted her a couple days ago, because I believe they're in production right now. And It's going to be played by Mia Check, and I've seen her before. She was in a movie called Rim of the World. If you have not seen that, watch it. I'm not sure if it's still on Netflix, but it is such a really good movie. I thought it was really good, and she was really good in it. And it was this like this little like teaser of her and her moves and stuff like that, and it got me so hyped because I seen it that night and I started freaking out, and I was like, I love her. I can't wait to see. I love the character. I love the character, and I love the actress that they picked. So I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. The next thing that we're going to talk about is Wednesday. Now, Wednesday season 2 is coming out next year. They are in production. It also been reported that Tim Burton will direct 4 episodes. We see some pictures of the cast and stuff like that. I can't wait. Excuse me. I can't wait because this first season was very like, we're introducing you to these characters. A lot of us know who most of these characters are because of the Addams family. But for them to pinpoint one character and say, hey, we are doing this show about her, and it's played by Jenna Ortega, who's an amazing actress also, and saying like, hey, you know, this character has been around for so long, we can make a TV show about her. They picked the perfect person for her, and we see the family, but the main character is her. And putting her in this school, which we see her friends, we see her, you know, gain friends and stuff, and she's doing it's basically, if you really think about it, it's really a mystery. She goes into these things. The first season, she went to this school. She upon a mystery basically, and I cannot wait to see what the second season hold, because I heard that's going to be a little bit more scary, and I'm here for it because people know how I feel. My followers know how I feel about scary stuff. Okay, it's not my cup of tea. It's not, but if it's done right, I'll probably watch it. I've said this before about horror. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan, but as a person that loves film and has been studying film for a minute, I do have my doubts about horror, but I do believe there are horror movies and TV shows that are really good, and it could be done right. And there's some amazing directors and writers that do it so good. So I don't write off horror. It's just not my favorite genre. But I cannot wait for a second season of Wednesday. It does come out next year though. The next thing that we're going to talk about is, I have all my like stuff here, so we are going to talk about Green Lantern, okay? So I did a video, by this time it'll probably be out already, but I did a video of them. They're going to cast Hal Jordan, and there was people that they had in mind for the Green Lantern series, which is going to be called Lanterns. It's supposed to be, I believe, 8 episodes, and it's John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and I would think that the way they're casting Hal Jordan, which he's pretty up in age, I would assume he's been part of the Green Lantern Corps for a while. And him and John Stewart, they go on a journey to American like mystery and stuff. So when I heard the synopsis for it, I was like, okay. But when I start seeing who they were like asking, they asked James Brolin. I believe they asked Ewan McGregor, Matthew McConaughey, and I believe all of them said no. Now, the next person that they talked to is Kyle Challenger. He is from Friday Night Lights, the TV show. And he is actually a really good actor. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. There's this one show, I cannot think of the show, but I remember watching it really young. I'll put it right here because the name of it is just not going going through my head for some reason. But he did a show, I want to say like the early 90s or mid 90s, and it was about, I forgot what it was about, but I remember the show a little bit, but I'm going to put it right here. But they're in talks. He's in talks. Well, both of them are in talks with him playing Hal Jordan. Like I said, they're casting older, and that tells me that they're doing something a little bit different, because now I'm trying to figure out, are they going to cast Jon Stewart younger than Hal Jordan, or the same age both of them could relate to? But they could probably relate of Hal Jordan being older and Jon Stewart being younger. You never know how they're going to go with this. But to my understanding, it's probably going to start filming next year, and it probably won't start coming out, and probably, I would say, maybe towards the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026. You never know. Let's talk about one more thing. Do, 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 do. Let's do this really fast because it amazes me. It really does. And I'll put the shows right here. TV anniversaries, okay? There was a whole bunch yesterday that had their anniversaries. We're going to go through a couple of them, okay? We're going to go to the youngest anniversaries to the oldest. Let's do that. Gotham is 10 years old, which is a really good show, which I would recommend to watch. Next show is Lost. It's 20th anniversary. Victoria Mars, 20th anniversary. When I seen that, I was like, I was watching that. Like, it's been that long. Like, next one is Friends, 30 years old, which is I have watched every episode of Friends. I think the Friends is really good, but I will say this, and don't knock me, but I do believe that Living Single is way better. That's just me. But Friends is a good show, don't get me wrong, but I do believe when it comes to the funny aspect of it, and Friends have funny moments. I'm talking about a show, Living Single, that's been around for 30 years, and every single episode is consistent of funny. Okay, that's what I say. Next one is The West Wing. I just got into The West Wing, and I think The West Wing is a phenomenal show. Next one is Family Matters, another show that I was replayed in my house constantly, 35 years, and it's an amazing show today because people do talk about that show really good. You telling me, Urkel, Myrtle, Myrtle, him playing Myrtle, the family in general. You got Laura, you got Steve, you have Eddie, you have the mom and the dad, you had Rachel. You had all these amazing characters. Next one is, and the last one is Baywatch, 35 years old. That means Baywatch and Family Matters came on around the same time, probably the same year. And that's also a really good show. There was a documentary that came out maybe a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week ago. I haven't watched it yet because I'm a really big, I love a really good, like, docu-series. This is, you know what, I'll talk about that in a minute. But I believe Baywatch, I watched reruns of Baywatch so many times because sometimes I'm just trying to find a show that I could just click on and just watch consistently. And a lot of these shows, I will say this, a lot of these shows you could just binge watch because I believe most of these shows are on streaming, I believe. Lost, I know, is on streaming. Friends is on streaming. Gotham is on streaming. Baywatch, I'm not sure. Victoria Mars, I'm not sure about that one either. But I know Family Matters and West Wing is. But those shows are like legend shows, iconic shows, fantastic shows. And when I need to talk about the whole docu-series thing, okay? Because I love a good docu-series. Docu-series, when it comes to docu-series or based on a event that happened, or you doing a show, you know, the reason why I'm talking about this is because Ryan Murphy has a series of stuff that's coming out or is out about based stuff that we know that's been in the news and stuff. The one that he recently did was Jeffrey Dahmer, right? And that thing is called Monsters. I watched a little bit of it. I haven't got through all of it. But I think I was like on the fourth episode or something like that. And I thought it was a really good show. I thought what I seen was really good. The acting was on par. Tell me why he did the Menendez brothers. I haven't watched the lick episode yet, but I have watched clips and stuff to get me ready, right? Is it just me? Or when I was watching the clips of just certain ones, how the brothers were, and my mom has told me so many stories about the Menendez brothers. With she has watched the them on court and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. Because I was really young when it happened. I don't even think I was young. I was a baby when it happened. Tell me why, when I seen the certain clips, and then right after, a whole bunch of people was like, well, that's not accurate. And that's the thing, what I gotta say. Make sure things are accurate when you're doing a story based on a true story. Make sure, I know there's twists that, you gotta like rearrange some stuff for because you don't have everything. But if you have to fill in the holes, make sure some stuff is accurate, because people are talking about the relationship between both of the brothers. I know they were close, but the way that it's portraying on screen is a little bit different to my understanding. But it's crazy. It really is. But my point is that if you're doing a based on a true story movie or TV show, if you're doing a docu-series and there's victims that are alive or victims, their families around, talk to them, because you want to know more about them and stuff like that. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row when it comes to that. I'm just not talking about Ryan Murphy. I'm talking about any person that takes on a based on a true story thing that's happened, and we all know about it because it happened in the news or someone heard about it or whatever. It became this big thing in history and stuff. And just make sure everything is like the way it should be. I understand you got to do your twist to make it more exciting and stuff like that, but make sure you have all your facts right. That's what I say. But I just wanted to talk about those things because there's so much stuff that comes out every single day, and there probably going to be another one right after this because I still got a whole bunch of other things to talk about. And I hope everyone is having a good day. I'm Tarasha, and I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. Bye.